Okay, we're getting started on this April live stream. Excited to hang out with all of you guys again. As always, I always ask, does my sound good? Because, I don't know, sometimes it doesn't. So I need to make sure everything is good. But welcome to everybody who has just joined the live stream. For those who might be new to a live stream, this is how we do things. We start with a topic and then we go into park planning Q&A, and I have a really good topic for today that I want you guys to think about. If you haven't come prepared with an idea yet, then think about it. Hello, my Disney park memories. Hello, Jennifer. Hello, our Nerd Ventures. Thanks for joining. So today's topic is going to be what new Disney festival or event would you want to create? I'm talking about something that they would do every single year, similar to Not So Scary, similar to the festivals in Epcot. Hi, Marianne. Hi, Basically. Hey, Coolness06. Good morning from the West Coast. Oh my gosh. Okay, well, it's earlier there. Not that early. Was it like 11 o'clock? Right? Am I right? Yeah, 11 o'clock. So not that early. But thank you for joining. So I was actually thinking about this myself, this idea of like, if I could add a whole new yearly event, what would it be? And I thought that it would be really neat if Disney did something in Magic Kingdom. I know Magic Kingdom gets all the like special holiday events and stuff, but if we did a Magic Kingdom event and we called it the Renaissance Fair, and it would harken back to the Renaissance era of Disney movies, but also would tie in the idea of like an actual legit Renaissance fair. So I think it would be cool to, ideally it would be cool if it was in the daytime, but I know it's tough for them. You can't like not have regular guests in the park in the daytime, so it probably end up being a night event. But I would love all the old Renaissance movie characters to come out, the ones we haven't seen in forever, for meet and greets or some sort of stage show, a la the, Hocus Pocus stage show for, Not So Scary. And otherwise, I want it to feel like a Renaissance fair. I want all the characters to be in like Renaissance garb. I want people to feel like they can dress up in like Renaissance fair outfits. I feel like Renaissance fairs are so big anyway. And so to combine the two ideas of Renaissance Disney with a Renaissance fair, I think would be so much fun. They could have so much cool merchandise. I feel like I could just see, didn't Minnie wear sort of like a princessy Renaissance outfit for one of the stage shows? I feel like she had, I'm talking about with like the tall hats with like the scarf coming out of it and all of that. So I feel like they have those costumes on hand. And I think that it would just be so neat to like bring in characters from like Hercules and obviously Hunchback, more characters from Aladdin, more characters from Beauty and the Beast, as part of like a show and like meet and greets. And then, have your standard, obviously you can go on all the rides and this and that. And just like really upping the idea of being in this kingdom, right? Cause like that is Magic Kingdom. It is Kingdom. So I would love that. I feel like I would like to say it would work in the summer, but I feel like those outfits would be really hot. So, but it's hard because fall is already a very packed time of year for events. So it might have to be like a spring, maybe a May. People have like the maypoles and all of that. So maybe we do a May Renaissance Fair. But I would love to know what your thoughts would be. Would you want another Epcot festival, like something in the summer? Because they don't really have anything then. Maybe Animal Kingdom deserves some love? Something special for Hollywood Studios. So start thinking about it and shooting me some of your ideas, and we'll discuss some of this. Marian says your trip is so soon. Excited for you. It is. Yeah, we'll talk about that in a bit too. I'm leaving a week from tomorrow. Very, very excited. Jennifer says, I would love a Christmas in July event since I can't make it down there in December. Maybe scaled down decorations and maybe just for a week or so. I think that would drive both me and Rob crazy. I'm not a really big Christmas person. I've said this before. I love Halloween. That is to me the best holiday, period. So I wouldn't want to have Christmas in July, but I totally respect that some people love that stuff, right? Like there's this Christmas all year round stores, which we have even here in New York. You know, they have it down there in Disney Springs, but we've got them in New York. I'm sure they're in like a bunch of big cities. So I get that people love Christmas, but I feel like it would have to be kind of short. I feel like you couldn't have that run too long. I guess you're right. If it's in July, then maybe they run for 2 weeks or 3 weeks or something like that. PTP grad says, but isn't Fantasyland already that version of Renaissance or similar back in time fair? It is, but I don't think that they lean into the theming enough. Like you had that feeling, but I don't, you don't really see like the Fantasyland like cast members that much. I'm talking about the actual character actors that come out. I mean, they still kind of do the show sometimes with the sword, but there used to be more people who would like walk around and engage and like all of that. And I feel like we don't really get the embraced, Fantasyland vibe. So I think it'd be really cool if like they really focused on that for an event. Let's see. Steve Corbett says, hi, Christine from New Hampshire. Thank you, Steve, for joining, another East Coaster. Queenie504 says, I do think Epcot should get something in the summer, but I have no idea what. Yeah, I think it's kind of funny. Like, normally I'd be against the idea of, like, let's just throw another Epcot thing onto the whole year, but I feel like they could do something, but maybe it's better. Maybe it's better to just have plain Epcot. It does have less of a draw of crowds. Like, it's already crowded enough in the summer, so I guess them not having a festival helps to keep the crowds from being even more crazy. I don't know. Daffy Stardust says, I would love to see a different week-long festival focused on each of 52 animated Disney films for a whole year. Would this be in Magic Kingdom? I assume, but if you envision it somewhere else, by all means, let me know. That would be really cool. Because I also think if they did it in a way that was small enough that it didn't feel like it was totally impacting on regular people's vacations, but it was like in an area that you could go to and it'd be like, okay, this week is Robin Hood and you can like see this specific, like, I don't know, show and like meet the characters and like this specific land. So it doesn't like encroach on other people's trips because, you have to remember that a lot of people, this is their first trip, so they don't want like Disney World like overlaid with stuff. But I actually think that's like really cool idea. Marianne says, although I like Flower and Garden, I have to admit I really love vanilla Epcot like Rob. So maybe they just capitalize on the fact that summer is vanilla and they call it Vanilla Epcot Festival. And then they just push out regular merchandise. But, if they got the hype behind it, people will believe it. And they'll be like, oh man, you gotta go. Have you been to Vanilla Epcot Festival? It's so cool. It's just like nothing there. It's just like pure Epcot. I feel like if the advertising was right, people would buy into it. Queenie says, I think the reason I think Epcot should get something in the summer is because so many people can only go then, and it feels bad to leave them out. Maybe something more family friendly. I guess you're thinking as opposed to food and wine, right? Like, obviously drinking is, an adult thing to do, and lots of people kind of complain sometimes about people getting inebriated, so maybe not having any additional alcohol. I mean, you can't remove the alcohol from Epcot, that's already there, but I get what you're saying. Twixie Shores, thank you for joining. Daffy Stardust, going back to his 52 weeks of movies, says, sure, or it could hop around from park to park based on what was appropriate for the individual movie. I mean, yeah, Tarzan specifically in Animal Kingdom, I'm trying to think, maybe Big Hero 6 would work in Hollywood Studios. I totally think that's a really cool idea. The Traveling Soldier, thank you for the super chat, The Traveling Soldier, I appreciate that. Says, hey, do you think Disney World needs a fifth gate? Going off why Disney World doesn't have a downtime anymore. Yes. I mean, I think that they could have had a fifth gate 10 years ago even. And now I think that we're getting to the point where they're building a lot of hotels and we're getting a lot more people in for all of these special events that we're talking about. And it's just getting more and more crowded, in addition to all the reasons I said in the video that I made this week. So yeah, I think we need a place to put people. We need a place to really disperse the crowds for sure, but who even knows when that's going to happen. Laser Toast says, what about a music festival featuring international artists at Epcot? They can maybe get more well-known artists. Yeah, I mean, it's interesting because almost every Epcot festival has music. So I did a video where I was talking about, like, here's the 4 Epcot festivals to help you choose which one, you'd be interested in. And they all have music. Like, there's always that aspect of it. Like, Festival of the Arts has been tying it into Broadway shows, which makes sense. And then Flower and Garden and Food and Wine are, like, those, like, bands that, like, you grew up with that everyone knows, but are kind of like not really big anymore. So, you've got things like Boyz II Men performing. I saw Smash Mouth like last year. It would be cool to have international artists though, because I would really love to go to Epcot and check out somebody totally new that I've never heard of before, and then be like, those guys are actually really cool. So I like that idea a lot. Daffy Stardust says for Epcot vanilla, lots of vanilla treats. Yeah, I'm down. I think it's a great idea. Marianne says Disney World's also more crowded because of the dawn of social media, the internet, and YouTube. I kind of agree. This was something that actually came up in conversation in the comments. A lot of people said that was a big reason. And I think it's less about all of us vloggers going, because I think the vloggers who go are people who have always enjoyed going before. They've just now found this new way to share that love. Like, I would still be going as much as I do, even if I didn't have this channel. But I think that to the other point is, like, now it's getting out to more people what there is in Disney World, what that experience is like. You do have people who watch my channel, or people like, Michael K, who are looking for planning advice, and now that they can get that, they're more willing to go. So I can agree that I think that social media definitely has something to do with it. Hello Sergio Lopez, thank you for joining. RCT3 is Epic says, what would you make the 5th gate if added? I still live and die by the idea of a villain's gate. I know it would not appeal to everybody, but I think it would be really dope to have like the antithesis of Magic Kingdom and have it be like Maleficent's castle, and have it be more darker themed. They would never do it, but that's just my dream. That's just my dream 5th gate. Let's see. Basically, Disney says Disney Springs works like a 5th gate in that it can absorb crowds for those needing a day not in the parks. I do think another ticketed gate would be good though. Yeah, because people do want to spend the money to go on rides, right? Like, that is the priority of most people. That's the priority of a lot of my trips. This trip is going to be one of the few trips where I'm actually dedicating an entire day to like the boardwalk and Disney Springs. But most people who are spending this sort of money and who are not going more than once, because a lot of those people build in those slow days and they know that they want to do other things, but the people who are only going once or maybe once every 10 years, they want parks. That's where they want to be. So I think having a 5th park is still really important. RCT3's Epic says, should Jake and Logan Paul be banned from Disney World? Gonna give you a quick answer there. They should just be banned from life. Hannah Bear says, everyone wants to become a vlogger now, so many more Disney vlogs. Yeah, I agree. And I think there's something cool about that, because I think everybody has a different perspective. And then it also just all depends on who actually sticks with it. It's not easy to do this. Like, a lot of people think like you just bring a camera and you point it at your face, and yeah, but there's a lot more to it, and it's hard to keep consistent with a YouTube channel, let me tell you. But I do think it's cool that there are a lot of people trying it, because I do think that you get very different perspectives. Like, how I go to Disney is so different from somebody who lives in Florida, is so different from somebody who has kids, so I think it's kind of cool. Basically, it says maybe another ticketed gate where they could redo attractions that have been removed. I would pay for that. I think you and a lot of people. But, I feel like for the Imagineers, they want to do new stuff, like to have a park where it's just like, we're just going to rehash what we did. I think creatively, they just want to do new things. So I don't know if that would ever happen. Daffy Stardust says they could bring back stage shows based on the individual movies. Wouldn't you love to see the Hunchback stage show again? Again, I never got to see it. I never saw the Hunchback stage show when it existed. So sure, I would love it to come back, and I would love to see it because I never got to experience that. So Marianne says, do you have any must-dos for Flower and Garden? Festival, food, garden rocks, merch, etc. I really just love taking in the atmosphere of Flower and Garden. I know that sounds kind of lame. Like, one thing I love to do every time is the butterfly garden. I like butterflies, so I like walking through there. There's not like specific food. I do know there was like a honey like kiosk thing that is there every year because, you know, they talk about the importance of bees and all of that. And they have like a really good dessert and a really good like honey infused drink. So I'm looking forward to that. As for merch, I might be more open to buying more gardening stuff because some of you guys know, I've talked about this a little bit. I'm in the process of house hunting right now, which is a whole other story and a whole crazy thing. And I like having a garden. So I might actually want to pick up things for the future house. Twixie Shore says, idea for a fifth gate, all the retired rides, but only the ones that were terrible. Oh, you mean things like, we'll just pull in from Disneyland Superstar Limo and get that over there. Maybe a little bit of Stitch? No thanks. Coolness06 says, I love seeing different Disney YouTubers because everyone has different opinions about the same topic. Plus, I've learned so many tips on how to plan a trip to Disney World. Yeah, I mean, it appeals to so many different people, and I think that that's what is really, really cool about it. And what's cool about places like YouTube and Twitter and Instagram is that you get to share that in a variety of different ways. Sergio Lopez says, some people are just more informative bloggers and others good to have a variety. Yeah, for sure. I mean, like, and everyone has like their niche of like what they're going to kind of tackle, which is cool. Jennifer DeLeon says the fifth gate should be an adults only park. I mean, you could do that with a villains park, because I feel like that already comes off a bit adult, right? But again, they would never. I mean, they want people's money, and if families are where they're getting that from, they would never do that. Disney Parks Memory says, have you seen the MGM Studios Hunchback stage show on YouTube? I have. I just never saw it in person, but of course, I definitely have watched it online and wish that I had seen it in person. Damien does Disney. Hello, glad to see you here. You often are here for my live streams, so thank you. Damien's over in Disneyland, has a great channel just about Disneyland stuff. So if that's your interest, you should head over there. PTP Grad says, what do you want them to place in Stitch Space in Tomorrowland? I did like the idea that was going around of potentially a Wreck-It Ralph ride, but I don't know if that's going to happen now because they did the VR Wreck-It Ralph. I thought that was cool. It's tough because Tomorrowland's theme is kind of all over the place now. It doesn't really have a cohesive theme anymore. I feel like it just kind of is like any sort of sci-fi Disney thing we can throw in there. So I don't know. It's kind of tough. I'm trying to think of like the space of like, I mean, honestly, I would just want Alien back. See, we're talking about bringing back old rides. I just want that ride back. I really do. Marianne says, are you going to see Galaxy's Edge when you go to D23 in August? Maybe. We've been like so not planning that trip because there's just been so many other life things going on right now. Literally, we have a hotel room. I haven't even booked flights yet. I don't know yet. I would like to see it. I feel like if I do, I would just literally dedicate the one day to like Galaxy's Edge. Like I wouldn't really try to do anything else in the parks. It's still going to be crazy. It's going to be crazy for a while. But maybe we're still trying to suss out what's going on. I mean, there's going to be even more crowds because of D23. So, you know, cross my fingers and kind of see what happens. But yeah, we'll see. Basically says, I actually do think a villains park would be awesome. Yeah, right? I mean, everyone loves villains. Like people, even though they're the bad guys, people relate to or just like a lot of the evil characters. And so I just think, why not have an entire thing dedicated to that? Daffy Stardust says Rock and Roller Coaster could be rethemed as a fast superstar limo with updated celebrities that can constantly be changed because of mapping technology. True, also creepy. But I don't think that we need any such reiteration of Superstar Limo ever again. Jamie McFadden says 90s Disney themed festival night. I know they did one at Disneyland, but they need to bring it to Magic Kingdom. I almost booked a trip just for that. Like, I'm not even kidding you. When I saw that they were doing that and they have the fanny packs and all of that, I was very close to just booking a trip to California. So I would love if they did that. Like, it feels like Disneyland gets a lot of those kinds of things, and I get it. It draws in a lot of locals, so they need to have a lot of different events to like make things really interesting. It's a lot different than Disney World, but I wish we got more events like that for sure. PTP Grad says Alien was one of my absolute favorite attractions. It was mine growing up. I thought it was fantastic. Queenie 504 says, I'm going to Disney in 2 weeks and I can't really find any information about Disney temperatures at night. How chilly does it get? I feel like this is very off topic, but I'm curious. No, by all means, these live streams, first of all, we do not need to hone in on the topic. I love talking Disney anything, so by all means, ask away. I'll be there in a week, and I can tell you that it doesn't get too chilly this time of year. You're gonna hit like 80s during the day and like high 60s at night. You're gonna be pretty comfortable. I think you'll be all right even in shorts. You might want to have a hoodie. I find that the highs and the lows are like way bigger in times like December or January. Like that's when you really have to worry about layers more. Definitely bring like a jacket or bring a hoodie, bring a pair of pants if you're somebody who gets chilly fast. But the evenings aren't so unbearably cold or anything like that. I mean, if you go on like Splash Mountain at night, you might be pretty cold. But we're getting into this season where, a light hoodie and maybe a pair of jeans will carry you through. But you're not going to be like freezing or anything by any means. Let's see. George Anthony says, which Disney park has the best Tomorrowland? I mean, I can only speak to experience on two of them, but I would say that, it feels like Hong Kong actually looks kind of cool. But between Disneyland and Disney World, I kind of think Disneyland? I don't know. It's tough because I feel like they've both sort of fallen off like what they were originally supposed to be. RCT3's Epic says, bring back Alien Encounter, but make it Ridley Scott's Alien like it was supposed to be, but it's where Star Tours is now once Galaxy's Edge opens. I'm so in. I love that idea. They didn't do the Ridley Scott Alien because they thought it was going to be too scary. I mean, it was scary already with the alien that they had. Please. I would love that idea. Daffy Stardust helping to answer this question. Usually just adding a windbreaker is enough at night if it gets chilly. Yeah. Like this time of year, you're going to be more comfortable at night than like January. Jamie McFadden says, are you going to vlog while you're down there? Yeah, I vlog every one of my trips. I actually find that I vlog more when I'm on a solo trip because it kind of keeps me busy a little bit. But I will be vlogging. I'm trying to meet up with a few different other YouTubers. I don't know what's definitely going to happen. But like, for example, Jack of DSNY and I have been talking about meeting up on the 30th anniversary. So he might be in a vlog, so I've been talking to a bunch of different people and hopefully I'll be meeting up with them as well. Let's see. Unpopular opinion, but I think I like Stitch better than Alien Encounter. This from Liz Cashman. Please get out of this stream. No, I'm kidding. But I hate Stitch because he replaced my favorite Alien Encounter, so it's boiling deep inside. The Traveling Soldier says, have you ever thought about going to Knott's Berry Farm in Cali? Yeah, another channel that I'm friends with, Nate and Bree, AP, they go a bit as well. I think they have annual passes there. And I've seen a lot of the photos of like when they've gone and it looks really, really cool. I love roller coasters. So despite me loving Disney, which obviously doesn't have like a ton of roller coasters, I actually do really love roller coasters. So that's on my list and Cedar Point is definitely on my list. Let's see. Marianne says, I recently saw the special merch for Hollywood Studios 30th anniversary. You're going, right? Yes, I am. I'm going for the daytime, and I'm also going for the after hours event. So I'm excited about the merch. I'm planning to bring some back to, I don't know, maybe give away to some of you guys who can't make it to the 30th. There definitely is some cool stuff. There's some really good looking food. I just want to get some of the food just because it looks cool. I don't even know how it's going to taste. It just looks cool, and I want to buy it. I'm very excited. They're slowly rolling out all the details now, even though it took them a while, but I'm definitely excited for the experience. Let's see. Steve Corbett says, I'm going to be there for opening night of Epcot Forever, thinking about snagging a dessert party. Have you ever done one? I haven't, actually. That's one of those things that, like, I want to do, but I've just never done. But I really do want to experience. I've heard so many different things. I've heard some are better than others. I know that, like, the actual selection of desserts in some have been better than others. Where you get to stand for shows is all different. But if you do it, I would love to know what you thought, like what your experience was. But yeah, not something I've done yet. Let's see. Jennifer De Leon, going back to the main topic, what about a Fantasy Animals Festival in Animal Kingdom, like the original plan for Animal Kingdom? Yeah. So originally there was going to be a land that was mythical creatures, and they never did it. That's why there is a dragon still on some of the signs on Animal Kingdom. I think that would be really cool. I mean, there's so many mythical creatures you could have. Dragons, unicorns, centaurs. Might feel a little bit like Harry Potter at that point. But I think that would be actually a really, really neat thing. I think Animal Kingdom deserves some sort of event. I really do. I really think it does. Like, at nighttime, it's gorgeous. I think it really deserves something else besides, like, Disney after hours events. Basic Life says, I'd really like to meet you at the Hollywood Studios after hours. I will be there. I know a lot of you guys are going. Please, I welcome anybody to come up and talk to me and hang out. I would love to meet people. Coolness06 says, I just noticed that Dapper Day is happening next weekend, aka when you fly down. I was at the Disneyland event last week and it was unforgettable. Yeah, I mean, originally I was going to fly down for Dapper Day. It actually happened Sunday. I fly in Sunday. And it didn't really work out. And then I was able to add on this Sunday day, but I'm not going to the parks, which I think is actually, I know it sounds kind of lame because it's like Dapper Day and I kind of want to see everybody dressed up, but I also think that crowds-wise, it's actually better for me to have a non-park day that day. But I'm still hoping that I'll see some people walking around Disney Springs all dressed up. So I can take some photos and get some of that on the vlog for sure. But one of these years, I'm going to go specifically for Dapper Day, go all out, get dressed and everything. That's definitely something I've been wanting to do for a while. Damien Does Disney says there's a huge rumor going around that they're going to redo our Tomorrowland at Disneyland. A famous Imagineer was spotted on the old Paper Mover tracks recently. Which Imagineer? I didn't hear about this, but I don't know, all the Tomorrowlands could probably use some work, to be honest. Twixie Shore says they should host a vlogging event where they rent out DSLRs and everyone has to vlog nonstop for their entire trip, and everyone includes cast members. Oh, but those cast members would get into so much trouble probably for things that they would vlog. So that would be hilarious, but also horrifying. Could you imagine a park full of people just like holding cameras on themselves? Scary. Traveling Soldier says there's a lot of Disney history at Knott's, as in Knott's Berry Farm. Walt Disney loved it. Loved the idea for his dark rides, inspired a lot. Gotta go. Thank you for joining, Traveling Soldier. Let's see. Queenie says the burp part in the Stitch ride made me ill. I'm glad it's gone. Yeah, I'm glad I never had to smell it. Sergio Lopez says, do you prefer to rent DVC points or book through Disney Direct on your future trips? Still researching what we're going to do for our first trip. What do you suggest? And thank you for the $2 super chat. Oh my gosh, again, can't talk. Thank you for the $2 super chat, Sergio. I really, really appreciate it. I have looked into DVC points, and the hard thing about them is that they require you to book so far out to get the rooms that you want to get. but they're really good deal. Like if you actually look at like what you're paying for a deluxe even by renting DVC points, it's so much better than what you're gonna get face value on the Disney site. So I think, if it comes to deluxes, I would do it. And if you have the time, like if you're gonna be planning this trip 10 months out, 11 months out, then do it. I think my problem is a lot of my trips I plan out in a short window. I'll book a trip 2 months out, 3 months out. So I don't have the opportunity to actually do that. But I really want to stay in Animal Kingdom Lodge, and especially as a solo traveler, like it's way cheaper. That's a big thing I have to think about is cost, because I can't split it with other people. So I really would like to do it one day. So I would look into, if you've got the time, before the actual trip to like get a good room, I would look into it. Disney Dynamite says, yes, Dapper Day is legit. Yeah, so I've heard. Marianne says, I think you'll like the non-hopper park days. I see how park hopping has its perks, but by staying in the same park all day, you don't lose that travel time. Yeah, all I've ever done is like park hopping. I can't remember. I mean, I've done trips where like maybe one day we're like, we're going to spend all day in Magic Kingdom because there is so much to do. So we'd rather just spend the whole day there and not park hop. We did it on our last trip, actually. But generally I'm park hopping. I'm always planning 2 parks in a day, sometimes 3, depending on like what's happening where. So it's going to be a little weird for me because I do have a non-park hopper ticket. So I'm definitely dedicating 1 park for each day. But it's going to be interesting, and I'll definitely want to talk a bit about that in videos afterwards, kind of a comparison of like, what does that really feel like? Did I feel like I lost out on experiences or anything? Yeah, it's going to be really interesting. RCT3's Epic has changed the dragon in the Animal Kingdom logo to an Ikran from Avatar, but don't announce it. Just do it. That way nobody gets butthurt about a logo. Gotta go back to being a park ranger for not Soarin'. Yeah, I know we've talked about the copy Soarin' or whatever it is. Or actually, no, yours came first, right? Anyway, thank you for joining for the stream. PTP Grad says the burp smell is much like the smell of a skunk in Imagination. Yeah, not a fan of that either. So glad that I didn't experience that. Christy's Corner, hey, thank you for joining the stream. We're both talking about, if you had an idea for a new Disney festival or event that would happen yearly, what would you create? So if you've got an idea, hit me with it. And we're also going through some questions about planning and all that good stuff. So whatever you got, throw it to me in the chat. PTP Grad says, I have an upcoming day of all 4 parks in one day. I may be insane. I don't know if I've ever done all 4 in one day. I've done 3. I did 3 nighttime shows in one day, which was crazy because it was just like how the timing was. I was able to hop around. Yeah, that was crazy. But I don't think I've done all 4. Are you trying to like get on a ton of rides in each park? You're just doing a little bit in each park. I'd love to know what your plan's kind of looking like. Will Medved says, I don't hear you, Rob, and crew ever talk about the water parks. They're now super expensive, but honestly, my favorite place in all of Disney is the Lazy River and Typhoon Lagoon. I have never been to the water parks, so that's why I don't talk about them. It just was never something that was like a big part of my trips growing up. And then when I got older, I just didn't have much of an interest. And Rob like never goes either. But I don't know. Like I feel like it's funny because like now having this channel, I want to experience more things, if only because I want to be able to provide people with more information. So like I feel like, yeah, I need to go have a water park day. I need to go do a dessert party, But yeah, I've never been for all the times. Gosh, I lost count how many times I've been to Disney World. A lot. And I've never been. I know, crazy. RCT3's Epic says Wings Over Washington opened in 2016 and Soarin' originated in 2001. Okay, just an update to the tech that, in my opinion, makes it better than Soarin'. Well, if I am in Washington, I'm gonna go. I promise you. I promise you that. I've actually been looking to make a trip to Seattle potentially in the next year or so. So, Christy's Corner said, I would do a Marvel festival. It's unfortunate that they can't do that in Disney World right now because of Universal, But one day, yeah, that would be so cool. I mean, they have like Marvel Days at Sea on their cruise line, which sounds amazing. And they've got a bunch of Marvel stuff in Disneyland. But I would love that. God, Universal, just let us do it. Just let us roll with it. I just want Marvel stuff in the park so bad, like kills me. Marianne says, do you think you'll be able to go to Illumination's final show? I have no idea because I think the show is like on a Monday. I really want to. It's all going to depend on my work schedule. It really is. I don't know. I mean, I was considering like going Monday to Wednesday so that I could literally catch the final Illuminations and the new Epcot Forever and then just leave on Wednesday. But I don't know. Right now it's 50-50. Let's just put it that way. PTP Grad says, yep, extra magic hours at Epcot for the first hour, then hit Animal Kingdom for morning, afternoon at Hollywood Studios, and close out the night at Magic Kingdom for late hours. So that's your 4-park and 1-day plan. That sounds exhausting. Make sure you get some rest. You make sure you eat some good food. Drink a lot of water. Keep yourself going. But it sounds really, really fun. Will Medved says, I just made the biggest oh my god face ever about the water parks. They are great. Been to a lot of water parks around America, and they're the cleanest I've ever seen. How about mini golf? Yeah, I love mini golf. Here's an embarrassing tidbit. My first AOL screen name was Mini Golf 19. I was 12, okay? Whatever. Because I loved mini golf so much, and my birthday is November 19th, so, classic kid thing, throw your birthday number in there. I love mini golf. I challenge everybody to mini golf anytime that I can. Like, if I travel somewhere and there's a course, come at me, let's go play some mini golf. So yeah, I've done the courses. It's been a little while. We tried to do them on our last trip. It's funny how, like, you always think, like, oh, we have 7 days or 8 days, and we're gonna do this, and that, and even, like, when we try to plan it with the whole group, it just didn't happen. But I don't know, if anyone wants to challenge me to mini golf in one of my upcoming solo trips, just let me know. I'll meet you there, 3 o'clock by the flagpole. Let's see. Emily Sheehan says, I just realized my husband, my best friend, and I are going to be in Disney World for her birthday, which is also your birthday. Awesome. Well, tell her happy birthday and tell her she has an amazing birthday. Christy's Corner says, I tend to park hop between 2 parks, but I can't imagine trying to get to all 4 in one day. But maybe if I were by myself, but with 2 kids, I don't think I could. Yeah, I mean, I will say the perks of not currently having kids is that it's very easy to just maneuver at your own pace, especially when you're solo or if you're just with like 1 or 2 other adults. Even when I just go with Rob and Kat, like, we're just hopping around and moving quickly and you get a lot done and you don't have anyone really slowing you down. That's going to change so much when we had kids. But you know what? I'm just going to enjoy it for right now. Let's see. PTP Grad says, what do you think of the Disney mini golf and have you tried the Universal mini golf? I've not done Universal. I like Disney's. I think it's pretty cool. I like that they have one course that's like a little bit more challenging than the other one. There's a lot of mini golf in Jersey by me, like down the Jersey Shore, where I have a lot of family. So I've done like a lot of like cool, crazy mini golf courses there that I would say are like on par with Disney, but I like Disney's courses. Twixie Shore says, have you ever experienced the nightlife at the boardwalk? One thing I love to do is enjoy jelly rolls and then head to Atlantic Dance Hall once I have enough booze to think I can dance. I'm a big dancer. I love dancing. When I go to weddings, I am busting out on that dance floor like song 1. So I really do like it. My problem with Atlantic Dance Hall is that I just feel like it's so quiet all the time. This is coming from someone who like lives in a city where like you go into a bar and they throw music on and it's like packed and people are dancing and so sometimes I poke my head into there and I'm just like, it seems really quiet for a dance hall. I've been to Jelly Rolls once. I would like to do it again. I feel a little weak. I'll be honest, I say go solo and don't be uncomfortable, but there's still certain things that feel a little uncomfortable. And to me, the idea of going to Jelly Rolls by myself feels a little uncomfortable. But maybe I'll do it this trip. Who knows? Maybe I'll, get out of my comfort zone a little bit. But I do like Jelly Rolls, which is dueling piano bar for those who don't know. We have one here called Pianos in the city, which is also very, very cool. If you're ever in New York, you should check it out. It's a really, really fun time. Marion says, will you and Rob be doing an Endgame special on the TTA? Rob is so busy at the end of this month that he and I are seeing it at 2 different times. I'm seeing it Friday, this upcoming Friday. I don't think he can see it until a week later. So maybe, I mean, at that point it might be a little late because I feel like everyone's going to be talking about it already. But yeah, sure. I mean, it's a pretty big movie. So I feel like once he sees it, we might do a special movie review. I'm very excited, but I'm also really bummed that people are already spoiling it all over the place. Like there are like clips of it that leaked. People are posting it on Twitter and Reddit and all of that stuff. So I'm trying to not catch anything that I don't want to see, but I'm pretty pumped for it. Let's see. Woo, you guys are asking questions faster than I can keep up. Queenie504 says maybe the Animal Kingdom Festival could be called the Festival of Life. It could focus on animals, good food that empowers the body, and then all sorts of interesting physical activity. I love that idea. I like the idea of bringing in kind of like a health education aspect to a festival. That's really, really cool. I feel like something like that could also kind of work in Epcot. I mean, take the animal part out, I guess, because, you know, you look at like Living with the Land and like all of that. And, you know, we used to have things like Body Wars and stuff like that. So basically it says 4 parks in one day is very exhausting but fun. I can't imagine trying to do 5 if they ever add a 5th gate. I don't think anyone could. Christy's Corner says you don't get to take as many vacations once you have kids. They are expensive. Yeah, you know, we're I don't want to even say planning because like we don't really have a plan. But in the next year or so, we would like to have a kid. And the one thing I was told by everyone was like, take all the vacations you can now because it's going to be impossible with an infant. And then even when they get older, you know, it's hard. So that was the big advice I've been given. Daffy Stardust says 4 parks one day was easy when they had those backstage buses. Disappointed me when they got rid of them. Yeah, like, you know, some of their ideas have been kind of dumb. Like, I don't know if you guys remember the bungalows that they put in Tomorrowland that were, like, terrible. Like, that, yeah, get rid of. But that like, express bus thing was so cool. And just the fact that you got to go in from backstage and, like, go right into the park, it was kind of brilliant. A lot of people seem to miss it. So I wonder, like, I don't know. I just always wish I could be a fly on the wall of those, like, decisions that, like, they're like, oh, we got to get rid of this. And I want to know why. Was it money? Like they weren't making enough off of it? Was it, you know, they didn't want to have to pay for the extra bus drivers? Like whatever it is. I just want to know why. Christy's Corner says, in fact, for the first 10 years, we maybe went on vacation 3 times. It was sort of beach or mountain trip. Yeah, I think when I was a kid, we drove to a lot of places. We did theme parks a lot. Then we drove up to like Salem, Massachusetts, or like, you know, went to Pennsylvania. Peter, my husband, was like, they were traveling internationally when they were kids. And I was just like, I don't know how your parents did it. Like, I don't know how your parents, 3 boys, dragging them through like Paris and London and Italy and like all of that. I was like, bless your mom's soul. I guess she really wanted to go to those places because I don't know how she did it. Hero75 says, my sister says it is wrong to listen to music in line at Disney. I disagree, considering I'll be in the most line solo on our family trip. Who is right? If you were alone, do whatever you want. That's how I feel. If you're in line with family or friends, I wouldn't. I just feel like that's a little rude. But like, if you are going to be in line solo, do whatever you want. I've seen other solo people listening to music or podcasts or whatever they're listening to. I will often be on my phone. Sometimes I will be vlogging. Sometimes I'll read a book. Like, do whatever is going to keep you, you know, busy while you're waiting, if you're by yourself. Coolness06 says, going to Disney World for the first time ever in June. I'm staying at Art of Animation with my best friend. 4 days, 1 park per day, and our 60-day Fast Pass window opens up Monday. Any tips? Not getting my hopes up for Flight of Passage. 1, don't discount Flight of Passage, especially if it's only 2 of you, which it looks like. You know, I did mine and was actually completely shocked with the fast passes I got. My suggestion is try on the app. I find it works a little bit better than desktop. Also, I'm lazy, and it's 7 in the morning when it happens. At least it's 7 a.m. East Coast, so I don't know what time that is for you. So I woke up at 6:55. I set an alarm. 6:55, rolled over in bed, did my fast passes. 7:05, I was back asleep because I normally wake up at like 7:30 for work. So I love the convenience of that. Now, granted, I am a solo traveler this time, so it could be different, but I was able to get Flight of Passage. I was able to get Slinky Dog. I was able to get Seven Dwarves. I was able to get Frozen. So don't discount it. I would say work from your later dates backwards, because a lot of people start from day 1 and on. So I would say work from your last day backwards and try to get your big fast passes then. And I wish you a lot of luck. Let's see. Marianne says, are you looking forward to Chefs de France? I'm hoping to try that restaurant for our next trip. Yeah, I have it booked for Monday night. Yeah, Monday night. I'm going to be hanging out with a cast member friend of mine. She's joining me for dinner. I don't think she's ever eaten there either, just by her working there. So I am excited. I love French food. Like, you know, we're lucky to have a lot of good French restaurants in the city here. I love French food. I love escargot. Fun fact, the first time I ever had escargot was at Food and Wine in Epcot. I said, screw it, I'm gonna just eat it. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna go for it. This was years ago, and I loved it. I thought it was so good. So don't discount escargot, guys. I know it's snails. They're delicious. So yeah, I'm really excited. I'm excited to see how it holds up. But it's just, you know, just to eat somewhere new in Epcot, I always think is really cool. Let's see. Twixie Shores says, be on the app as soon as 7 a.m. Eastern hits. Yep. Got all my fast passes that way, including Flight of Passage. Yeah, I was like on the app at like 6:58, and I was just refreshing until it gave me the option to pick my fast passes. So get on a couple minutes ahead of time just to make sure, you know, you've got some time. It's like, have you ever tried to get concert tickets for a really popular band? It's like same sort of thing. Like, make sure you get on a couple minutes ahead of time. Give yourself time to refresh and get in. Will Medvid says, favorite store in Disney Springs. Uniqlo is my favorite store ever. High style, low cost. Hate to say it, but their Mickey shirts are cuter than the ones they sell at the parks. We got Uniqlo here. Like, I think it's so cool that they have the one there. We got Uniqlo in New York really early on. I think we were like, us in California had it before most of the rest of the country. So I was used to shopping at Uniqlo for a long time. And they often had the Disney stuff here as well, because they do special collections with different artists. But the stuff that they have down there is a bit different than what we have here. I do really like their clothes a lot. I totally agree. I think, other than that, my favorite store, I don't really shop a lot there, I'm going to be honest. But I do like Trendy, which is, actually, I like that whole like market, like that, what's called, like the co-op market or something. But Trendy has like the really cool, cute Disney clothing. And then they have like one of the art stores in there. And then they have like the home goods store. I love that whole section of stores there. 'Cause it's like Disney merchandise, but it's not overtly done. They nod to a lot of cool different rides. Like, I usually spend most of my money in there. Christie's Corner says, I tend to either go live in the parks or vlog, so I always have my camera phone up. The fun thing about live is that I'm using my gimbal, so people stop me asking about it. It's fun and interactive. I do plan to do some streaming myself, but yeah, I agree. Going live in the parks is really, really fun. I'm planning to do some streams. There was a really fun time where I was streaming in Magic Kingdom, and someone who watched the channel decided to come up and say hi, and I was just like, oh hey, what's your name? You're on my live stream now. And he was like, wait, what? Like, it was so great, and I was just talking to him while he was on my live stream. That was a super, super fun moment. So I love live streaming in the parks too. You know, it's kind of hard sometimes because I feel like you feel a little self-conscious, but I am planning, I want to definitely live stream during the 30th, 100%, but I do plan on doing at least one other live stream as well while I'm in the parks for sure. And it'll be straight through the YouTube app, so it'll be on here. You guys won't miss it. Steve Corbett says, with kids, the first few years are tough, but when they get to be 4 or 5, you get fun to re-experience everything through them. Yeah, I'm excited to see Disney in the eyes of my children. I think that's going to be the coolest thing ever. I really, really do. Peter always goes, what if your kids hate it? And I was like, well, they're not my kids anymore. No, I mean, it could happen, right? They might not. I don't think they're going to hate it, but maybe it's not going to be for them once they get older. But I'm still really excited about that idea, that prospect. Hero 75 may be a little strange, but if you could add a new animal to the animal kingdom, what animal would you add? I haven't really heard of Disney actually adding new animals. One of my favorite animals I love to see at zoos is the red panda. It's the cutest freaking thing ever. So even if it was just in like the trail areas, like one of the trails, I need some red pandas in my life, Disney. Just throw them in there. If you guys don't know what I'm talking about, Google red panda right now or after this stream. But oh my god, they're so cute. I love them. So I would love red pandas to be added there. I have about 10 more minutes left, so keep throwing me those questions. Queenie504 says, if you could add an attraction or a new section to Animal Kingdom, what would you add? And I love red pandas. I know, they're amazing. New section to Animal Kingdom. I want Wakanda. I love Black Panther. I thought that movie was so amazing. And I think that it would fit well there. Because you do have Africa, right? So you can probably build it out and behind. I mean, man, you can even just change Rafiki's Planet Watch and make the train look like one of the trains that's like in Wakanda and have that take you out there. And then you're like in the city. I think that'd be so neat. You could have meet and greets with characters. You could have some stuff about technology, maybe how certain tech helps with animals and, you know, endangered species and things like that. Like, I think there's a way to tie it in together. But I just need some Wakanda in my life. I really do. Twixie Shore says, can you tweet your thoughts on chefs like ASAP after you eat there? I've got a reservation on May 6th for both there and Spice Road. I'm wondering which to stick with. I can do that. I can tell you Spice Road was very good. I ate there with Rob and Kat a couple of trips ago, and I really, really enjoyed it. I also like Moroccan food, and I love Mediterranean food in general, so if that's something you like, then you might like it. We were inside. We didn't have like an outdoor seat, though I can imagine that would be really, really lovely. But Spice Road is really good. But yes, I will let you know ASAP what I think of Chefs de France, and if I think that's better. Marianne says, thanks for doing this live stream and thanks for putting out some really great content on your channel. Good luck on house hunting and have a great trip. Thank you, Marianne. And I try. I'm really trying to record a lot of stuff this weekend so that you guys will have content through my actual trip. Lots of good, like, you guys give me so many good questions in the comments, which is wonderful because that helps me make more content for you guys. And if you guys are here and watching this live stream and you like this channel, honestly, the best way that you can help me is to share this with people. Whether it's a friend or a family member who likes Disney, or you tweet at someone, or you put it on a Reddit thread, whatever. Like, that's the best thing that helps me get this channel out to more people. So that's my one plea to you guys on this live stream is just, you know, take the time to share it with somebody you think is going to enjoy it. Because that super, super, super helps me. Steve says, thanks for the live stream. You're welcome. My Disney Park Memories says, Animal Kingdom has a large unused area on the way to Rafiki's Planet Watch. You can see it on Google Maps. Yeah, give me Wakanda. I want I don't know, the whole like shield thing. I think it'd be great. Queenie504 says, I'm eating at Spice Road on my trip too. After hearing the review, I'm excited for it. It's good. We got this. Oh, what was it? I'm going to have to look this up. Hold on. There's this great appetizer at Spice Road that I don't want you guys to miss out on because we had it. I want to say it was like a fried hummus thing. I'm gonna look this up right now so I can give you the recommendation. Hummus fries. Yeah, hummus fries. So they're literally like come as like these big bricks, and at first you're just like, what the heck is this? And it's like fries that are hummus. I don't really know how else to describe them. They come with a really good dipping sauce, and they were absolutely delicious. So definitely have those. Damien Does Disney says, I'll be at D23 this year for the first time. Do you think 2 days are enough? Or should I be hardcore and do all 3 days? This is my first D23 this year too, and we're doing all 3 days. Because I don't know what to expect either. So, I mean, I guess whatever you think is going to be enough. Like, I have experience doing Comic-Con quite a number of years and PAX quite a number of years. PAX is like a video game equivalent of Comic-Con, I would say. And it's tiring. Like, if you're going to do all 3 days of any sort of convention like that, it's very tiring. You're on your feet, you're waiting in line, you're walking around. So keep that in mind. But I think if you can do the 3 days, why not? You should. I think 2 would be good if you pick the ones that like have the panels that you really want to see and all of that. My Disney Park memory says, are you still going to Disneyland Paris? I am. It's in September. We'll be there. Well, I will be in September. I'll be Paris and London September 5th. Gosh, I can't remember my dates. Something like the 5th or the 6th to the 14th. But the actual parks for about 3 days or 2.5 days. So yes, I'm still going to Disneyland Paris. I haven't been talking about it as much because I'm planning this trip. And after this, we'll be like really deep diving into my Disneyland Paris planning. So I'll be making more videos about that. But we still have some time to go. I'm not quite like pumped yet because it feels really, really far. George Anthony says, do you think Disney will finally get rid of Animation Courtyard and Star Wars Launch Bay at Hollywood Studios once Galaxy's Edge opens? I am almost certain they will. I mean, there's no point in having Star Wars Launch Bay there. So I think they might just turn it into something else because, like, obviously that's a cool space. I mean, that could be a cool event space even when you think about it. But it just, like, I guess that has always been my question. It's like, okay, Galaxy's Edge opens. What do you do with that? What do you do with Star Tours, Tatooine Traders, the store that's off Star Tours? Like, it doesn't make sense anymore to have these things outside of Galaxy's Edge if you want that to be immersive. So I'm really, really curious about, like, what the plans are for the park as a whole. Basically says, wasn't there a rumor about doing something Zootopia at Animal Kingdom? There was, that they were going to do something on Rafiki's Planet Watch, or just like adding some of that stuff in there. I'm not sure what's happened since that rumor came about, like what's the plans or anything like that. But it was just a rumor as far as I know. Nothing was like confirmed or anything. So, all right, guys, I've got a few more minutes left. If you have any other questions to throw at me, I thank you so much for hanging out with me, especially those of you who have hung out with me like the whole hour. I just think that that's amazing. You guys are amazing. Damien says, about to hit Disneyland now. Have a great day. You too. Have a great time. Ride some rides for me. Gosh, I'm so jealous. I wish I could just like hit the parks anytime I wanted to. That'd be nice. So yeah, any last minute questions, let me know. I will be in Disney next Sunday through Thursday, so Sunday 28th through May 2nd. If you're going to be down there, come look for me. There will be content going up in the meantime anyway, but I definitely want to meet as many of you as possible in that time. But yeah, let's see. All right, last question. Last question is from Alex Wells. Says, planned a trip for before Galaxy's Edge was set to open, but with the new date, we are arriving a week after opening day. Do you think crowds would be bad everywhere, or mostly just at Hollywood Studios? I mean, you're going to see the influx at Hollywood Studios, but I imagine that you will see some increase in the other parks as well. Don't discount the idea of other people trying to maybe do what you're doing and plan to go to the other parks. I don't think it's going to be as crazy as Hollywood Studios, not at all, but I think you are going to feel like an overflow and a little bit of an impact on the other parks. I think that's just kind of unavoidable. especially even that time of year, like it sounds like that would be what, like September, right a week after opening day. Yeah, and that can still be kind of busy beginning of September. So, take it with a grain of salt, and maybe avoid Hollywood Studios if you could. But I think you're going to feel a little bit in some of the other parks. All right, guys, we're going to be wrapping up. Marianne, thank you. Have a great, big, beautiful tomorrow as well. Twixie Shore says, don't forget Food and Wine starts at the same time as Galaxy's Edge opens. Good point. I rescind my original answer of it might be kind of crowded. It's going to be very crowded. So I'm just putting that out there. Thank you guys for hanging out with me, Coolness, and everybody else. I really, really appreciate it. So have a great weekend. I hope you had a great Passover or Good Friday, and you have a good Easter if you celebrate it. And if not, just have a good Sunday. Next live stream, I'll be in the parks, which is kind of awesome. Anyway, that is it, guys. Have a great rest of the day. Bye.